Hello, my fire signs. Welcome to your mid-May check-in. I'm going to look at what's trying to leave, what's shifting, what's coming in. This kind of builds off of your weekly forecast that I put out on Sundays. And so now we're doing a check-in. Let's start with Aries, and then I will go into Leo, and then I'll go straight into Sagittarius. It's a 5-card spread. Plus, I'll also do Aries through Pisces for each zodiac sign, like I always do as well. So we'll see what's shifting with the person that's on your mind. So good morning, Aries. Good morning, everybody. Let's get started. I am liking doing the signs all together, so I hope you guys are enjoying it too. It does put fire, bring all the fire energy. And so let's see. We are seeing here Dancing with the Stones as the first card. So we're seeing momentum. We're seeing movement, teamwork, partnerships. All right. So feeling kind of like, all right, things aren't so stagnant. Things seem to be coming together if they're meant to come together, so we're seeing some things have fire, some things are lit, some things have already started for you, some things are still continuing to grow. It feels like your Two of Wands energy, if I were to give this a tarot card. It can, you've already entered the 8th, you've got the 2, and even the 3, where it feels like, all right, I kind of know something's happening, but we're just kind of enjoying the journey at times, right? So if you are feeling like somebody is not working with you, or things are still stagnant, or things are dying out, and you're not feeling equal, and you're initiated, and you're constantly being the one to chase in a way, right? And chase is going to look different for you being an Aries. You look at, initiating, pursuing, being the one to get things going because you're independent and you're confident. But that is also chase in disguise, right? And some of you may start to get sick of that right now, and you're going to notice that this doesn't feel the same. So that's where you're going to know that something is trying to leave your life, right? Something's trying to die out. So something new, a new flame could be trying to light up for you. So let's pull 5 cards and see. Let's dive in. First card is what is leaving for you. What is leaving for Aries? This can be Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising. These ones kind of do navigate with the astrology as well. So you may find that different placements do resonate with this reading. All right. What is trying to leave? We have 6 of Cups here, bottom of the deck. So this is kind of giving the same story that I just gave. It feels like love has to feel real. Love has to feel 2 people participating. Doesn't always mean we get along perfect. It doesn't always mean that, things are not good. We're not going to have challenges, but it does say we feel something mutual. We feel something good here. We both want to explore where this could go, the possibilities. Now, this is also a card that does represent the past leaving or the past returning, and also new coming in and new memories, right? So you can look at this either way, and it fits perfectly with the way I'm reading today, right? So we're seeing forgiveness coming in as well too. So there is a moment here of making amends possibly happening in your life as well too. So many of you, if you've been finding that you've just been bumping heads with somebody, or even a friend, a lover, anything, you just feel like, it's time we turn over a new leaf. It's time we talk. It's time we look at each other, differently, or try to go back to where things were at before and see if we can reclaim the love that we once had, right? So even if you're in a relationship with somebody, this is a reminder that, we can forgive. We can learn to forgive and love and open up our hearts and move forward. This can also represent a soulmate coming into your life, a new soulmate trying to enter your life, Aries. So I see a Queen of Cups here. So this is representing what is leaving your life. And this could be emotionally unavailable people, people who don't see the real you. This could be you always trying to be strong and not show your feelings, not let somebody know how sensitive you really are. You know, maybe you're feeling deeply for someone, but you're not feeling reciprocated at times. And you're always holding back your feelings. You don't want to seem vulnerable. You don't want to, you know, seem needy. You know, this is part of your energy, feeling very confident, but you have feelings and you want to be felt, and you want to be understood, and you want to be able to take your relationships to the next level. So this part of you is leaving because we go back to the movement, teamwork, and partnerships. And you're at a place in your life, well, you know, right now too, with the energies, where it's time to step up in relationships, and it's time to grow up in relationships, and it's time to deepen connections, not just be superficial or just have, you know, the same story about or narrative about connections, past connections, why they didn't work, or keep mingling with the same person that keeps coming up with the same excuses. This is you really needing to feel nurtured and loved in a relationship. And so any type of relationship that feels cold, that feels like somebody's emotionally detached, they're blocking themselves from deepening their connection with you, is trying to leave. Now, some of you may actually have a person in your life who's a water sign, or somebody who is overly sensitive, somebody who is needy, and people or friends that could be needy that just seem like they take up a lot of your time. This could be somebody in your life that is always crying about something but doesn't want to fix their problem, or doesn't want to listen to what you have to say. You may be feeling like you're getting tired of performing, you know, that you care, or that you really, because it gets tiring when somebody just wants to dump on you but not do anything to change their life, right? So some of this, and this could be a friend, this could be a sibling, this could be, you know, a relationship where it just feels one-sided. So what is actually shifting right now? We're looking in the current energy right now, and this is the Nine of Wands. This is where some of you are just worn thin. Your tolerance level, something that you've accepted for a long time, is no longer, you know, acceptable. And you may not be saying this to many people. You may be still putting up a front. And, you know, this is the wounded warrior. This is always my Chiron in Aries. So some of you may have Chiron in Aries. It just feels like, look, just because I'm strong and I've gone through the fire and I can carry my weight, I don't need to carry everybody else's weight. I don't always need to be the one to fight for things. I don't always need to be the one to do things, right? It's like I need some help once in a while. I need somebody to reciprocate. All right. So I do feel like your confidence is stepping up right now, but it's because you're feeling tired, and you may be constantly performing with people and hiding your stress just because you like to, you know, be confident. You don't want people to pull you out of alignment. And, you know, but after a while, it just gets to a point where you're like, look, take care of your shit, or, you know, step up, and you're wearing me out here. Right. So right now you could be feeling like you're burning the candle at both ends. And a lot of it has to do with a pattern, right, of you kind of shrugging things off. And when people disappoint you, or as people let you down, you just pick up the pieces and you do it yourself, and you get going, and you just keep mustering through. And that energy it's not going to last very long. You can keep trying. You might have been doing it for years, but at some point it's like, this life has more to it than this, right? So this could be a quiet shift that's happening beneath the surface, but really your tolerance level here is reached max, and you're not going to be able to handle much more of other people crying about their problems when you're over here, you know, not even asking for help. All right. So what is new and trying to enter your life? Let's see. We see a King of Cups. Now you're seeing, maturity, calmness, stillness, somebody here who's not afraid to express their love, somebody who's not afraid to merge, be open and connect on a deeper level. You have somebody here that really wants to explore the depth of a relationship, and reciprocity, the actual experience of somebody here where this is leaving, where it feels like somebody only focuses on their own needs, their own self, which we all can do. So don't feel, triggered. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Okay. But what I'm seeing here is leveling up a little bit emotionally and feeling like somebody's reciprocating, and somebody here who understands and can see both sides of things, right? So I do see a love trying to enter your life. Again, it could be a water sign too, but somebody who's confident in themselves and not afraid to express their emotions, and somebody who's not afraid to commit. This is an energy of somebody who's very loyal. It is Scorpio energy. It can be Cancer, Pisces energy as well too. But Scorpio, when they're ready to commit, they're going to commit and they're going to stay. That's the thing about Scorpio and fixed signs, is that once they stay, it's hard to leave, and they can tend to stay in a relationship that's unhealthy, just because out of dedication, and they want to fix and make it grow. But I am seeing here that you have that kind of relationship coming towards you, and that's where we're seeing that you're moving towards. As long as you're kind of going through this energy, somebody may try to enter your life. I want you to understand this when I'm doing your readings. Just because I'm saying somebody may be trying to enter your life who wants reciprocation, if you're not ready for it and you're still dilly-dallying with somebody who's stealing your energy, you're not going to have the door open or be ready. They could smack you in the face and say, here I am, and you still wouldn't want it, right? So this has to be a process that you're going through and that you're feeling right now, and you're saying to yourself, I am open to this reciprocation of love. Right. I'm wanting a love that sees me, a love that can see that I'm tired, a love that knows that I'm the type that wants to do everything on my own, but I don't want to have to ask for what I need, a love that can see and feel what you need. All right. So I love this. Right. What is new in love specifically? All right. And now the moon card. A lot of you have been going through several cycles with relationships, and you've been constantly maybe anxious. This is that energy here too, where you may have a buildup of anxiety because you are always kind of uncertain about where somebody's heart is, what's their expectations, what's going to happen next, where's this relationship going, why do I feel emotions, why do I feel like this person is connected to me, yet they won't be clear about their motives. There's always something, not being said. I'm always trying to dig. I'm always trying to be the detective and try to figure out. I have to analyze my person or people in my lives, every move. This could be hypervigilancy too. Like you're afraid just to let down your guards because you never know if somebody's going to change their mood, right? Or somebody's going to overreact, or somebody might take what you said and, use it as an excuse, to get mad or get angry or upset with you, right? So what I am seeing with love is a lot of this uncertainty and this constant changing and fluctuating and trying to read the room and trying to do, or you show up and try to read and understand your person's reactions constantly to you. That's leaving when it comes to love. And something is trying to manifest that is more nurturing, more loving. And this is very important. This just came through. What is actually really happening or trying to come in with love specifically is the ability for you to be able to just love and see where it goes and not worry about the outcome. Because some of you will feel so secure and safe with somebody that's trying to come into your life that you don't worry about tomorrow. You don't worry if you're going to get together again, because you know your person wants to. You know that you'll figure it out. You're not always playing some guessing game. All right. So a lot of water energy coming through for you, which tells me that this is a lot about emotions and emotional unavailability and emotional withdrawal, and also you being afraid to express your emotions to feel safe. The only emotion I see from you is maybe anger. You know, you're tired of being anger. You're tired of having this armor on, you know, this shield. I feel like my Aries are like, I'm on a mission. I'm a shield. I don't want anybody to see my feelings because I don't want to get hurt again. I'm tired of these, you know, roller coasters, these games. All right. So what do you do with all this, right? What does Spirit want you to do? I see the King of Pentacles. Ground in and get ready. Start preparing a future that you really want to, you know, have, right? The King of Pentacles is like, I need comfort. I need stability. I need security. I need consistency. These are some of your main values. This feels like the Hierophant, what I'm saying. I need somebody to show up. I don't stop looking for intensity in love. You're looking for intensity and all this other crazy stuff. Take it from grandma over here. It doesn't go very far. You want somebody here who's going to build something long term. Now, some of you have water and earth showing up for you. Let someone help you. This is your biggest advice. All right. Sometimes the people that show up in your life that can be boring, can be so consistent, and it's actually you can grow and build something more exciting with a person like this. All right. So not act from urgency, not act from fear, and, you know, not be caught up in that intensity game that you're in, because you may not see these people that are showing up for you that are saying, I'm here. All right. And this is somebody that will stay for a sign of trouble. This is somebody who's very grounded, very earthy energy. So you are being asked to try and look for the genuine comforts, genuine, you know, watch how people treat you and act around you and how they show up around you, and not look for intensity. All right. And it could be a relationship that's building more as a friendship, coworker, you know, somebody that's been around you for a while that you haven't even given a shot yet. But with all that being said, I do see Pisces. I mean, you could have a Pisces moon. I have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let's look at the person. If you have somebody specific on your mind, I'm going to pull Aries through Pisces. I want you to keep in mind that this can also represent a new sign coming into your life, because right now we are seeing that if something is not working with some of you with the zodiac sign, the cards are going to say that. And it is going to say, open up for a new sign to come in, that somebody is trying to leave. That is the kind of read today. It is going to show what is not working, what's dying out. And, but if some of you have nobody in your life, this can represent all of this can represent a new person trying to come into your life. All right, Aries through Pisces. Incoming communication, you know, SOS, here it comes. All right. So some of you, what's happening right now is we are seeing that somebody's trying to get a hold of you. Somebody's wanting to talk to you. Somebody's talking to somebody else to talk to you. If some of you have been waiting on messages, maybe you're going to get them as soon as I'm done with this reading. All right. We have Aries. Aries has somebody's got their eyes on you. All right. Somebody's definitely into you. Somebody sees you. Another Aries. This could be a new Aries, totally turning their heads, right? Their eyes are on you. But if you're connected to an Aries, you know, we can see that you guys both have chemistry. You guys see each other. You like what you see, all right? So that maybe you're getting their attention right now. Taurus, you may get an apology. All right. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm sorry. Things didn't work out. I feel bad that they didn't work out. I feel bad for something I said. I definitely feel remorse and regret. I didn't want things to turn out the way they did. So you may get an apology from a Taurus, but that could be two different things. Think of the fives. The fives can be, I'm reconciling with you. I'm telling you I'm sorry, but it doesn't mean I want to move on. You know, or it can say, I'm sorry, can we move on? You did have the Six of Cups in your reading at the bottom of the deck. So that can go either way. Gemini, working on it, planning on reaching out to you. All right. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they're trying to pull together some stuff. You know, they're trying to get their life together. They're just, you know, but this is telling me that they are planning on reaching out to you, or they plan on seeing where things can go, plan to get together, plan to see what's up. You may be working with a Gemini that's planning on telling you how they feel. Cancer, you got a lot of confusion with Cancer. You got a lot of mental stress with the Cancer, right? So this is also like the Five of Swords energy. Something has to change. It just feels like you're always explaining yourself. You're always trying to figure something out. You're always trying to figure them out. You're always trying to read between the lines, the Moon card. You may finally get fed up with a Cancer not always being straightforward with you. You know, it's just, I need clarity. There's a, you know, calling them out, you know, setting the record straight. You may finally say something, and if they don't, you know, want to compromise with you, you may decide to walk away or not deal with it, right? Even if it's a new person, you know, be clear with me. If somebody's new and they're confusing you, that's a red flag, guys. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's a huge red flag. Leo, I see moving on. You might be saying goodbye to a Leo, relocating. They could be relocating, you know, finding some sort of closure. A Leo could be leaving your life, right? You know, she got a smile on her face, so it might be a good thing. Maybe you're wanting it to be a good thing. You know, but for some of you, there is potential here that they could be moving on from another situation that is opening the doorway for them and you. So this could even be a new person, you know, they're leaving a situation and coming towards you. Take what resonates. Virgo, there's a lot of insecurity and comparison with you and a Virgo. It seems like, you know, they're either trying to make you jealous, or they're not choosing you, or there's always competition with a Virgo and you. Now, there could be underlying jealousy that you don't know about that causes the tension between the two of you. So this is like the Five of Wands energy too. It's challenge and energy. It doesn't mean that this can't work, but there is definitely some insecurities that you're dealing with this person. Now, you may confront it, and you guys may be able to get through it. There is a possibility of that. Libra, I see a new beginning in spring. We are in spring, right? So that's just new beginning energy. This could be a new Libra coming into your life, right? Scorpio, you guys dating, things getting stronger between you and a Scorpio. You may find more consistency, hanging out more, getting together, the vibes just right between you and a Scorpio. Sagittarius, entering a family, entering a relationship. This could be your happily ever after with a Sagittarius. All right, I love my fire signs together. You guys, if you can make it work, that's a whole shit ton of fun and passion. All right, so I do look like something coming out of this relationship with a Sagittarius that looks really good. Could even be a new Sag that's entering your life, and this could be your long-term relationship. Capricorn, expect changes with a Capricorn. It may be later, you know, in the month. It might not be right away, but, you know, something may be changing, and that's what's happening behind the scenes. I am seeing expect changes from them, though, that will help grow the relationship. Aquarius, romantic gesture coming in from an Aquarius. This is like the Six of Cups energy. So this could either be a past Aquarius, or it could be a brand new person coming into your life. Open up the possibilities. But I am seeing a romantic gesture very much into you. And Pisces, we're seeing passion, desire, and fantasy. So there's a strong chemistry here with you and a Pisces. This could be the fires just getting started, getting lit. You know, you guys are wanting to see where things go. Just keep in mind that it's in the chemistry stage. It is passion. So if you are the type to fall in love quickly or want to get married the next day, be careful with this energy. It's fire. And it can burn out quickly. I love you guys. All right. Leo. Let's do Leo at 25 so I can get a good shuffle. Leo. I loved that reading. Did you guys like that reading? Somebody won't like it. Somebody will tell me to screw up. I love you. All right. Leo, Leo, Leo. I want to get a pretty good shuffle here before I get started. Leo, 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 Leo. All right, so it's cleared. I just cleared the deck. All right, Leo. It's gonna be, I think the fire signs are gonna have kind of similar read-ins, right? That's why I like doing them together. You know, so Leo, we're looking at what's leaving and what's trying to come into your life too. But maybe maybe you don't want anything to leave, you know. But so we're just gonna dig a little bit. And I will do Aries through Pisces. And if you have somebody on your mind or a possibility of new love that's trying to enter your life too. All right. So I am seeing change, a new road opening up, obstacles. You are dealing with maybe some obstacle right now that you may have just found yourself in. You know, but there's another solution. The way you're looking at something, you may be feeling stuck right now. It kind of feels like a 7 of Pentacles. And that can get frustrating for you. It's like, I know what I want in love. I know that I want to deepen my connection. I want to make plans for the future. And I want things to look exactly the way I want things. And you're a fixed energy. You know, you may have had plans. You may have been really working on something. You just thought things were going to be different at this point than they are. And, you know, something's changing and things do change. That's the thing about us fixed signs. We want, and I feel like for Leos too, you want things to stay. Once it's good, you want it to stay the same way. You don't want things to change, right? But this is where something is changing in your life, but it's better in your life, and you're going down a different path, one that you couldn't see coming. And that's the beauty of the unknown. And so you are being asked to be flexible right now and not judge things by what you expect them to look like, right? So let's dive in. You definitely got release in the past, all right? So you're transmuting some energy. Maybe a lot of you are finally getting to a point where with this card too, it's like, I can't keep going down this road and letting something hold me back, especially if something's been holding you back. You know, your past maybe thought. Sometimes, you know, your path, guys, is just, you know, you keep going back to a story in your head. You know, I raised myself. I had no parents, or my parents were overprotected. You know, just something we're always going back to that becomes an excuse of why we can't move forward in our life. You know, the Page of Cups just showed up. All right, it kind of flew out, so I'm going to leave it here as a wild card for you. This brings a new sort of experience. I'm going to say the word experience for you when it comes to opening up your eyes and allowing yourself to love. All right, so it kind of feels like no more performing what we think or what I think the other person wants, or how I think I should be performing in love. The Page of Cups says I can't perform. The Page of Cups says I have to let myself express myself. I want to be kind of childish when I want to be childish. I want to be playful. I want to be flirty. I want to just go with the flow. I don't want to constantly be, you know, regulating everything, or just acting like everything's okay too. But let's see what's leaving your life. I tend to do the reading before I even pull the cards. Do you notice that, guys? I'm sorry I do that. It's just a habit. It's how I read. You have the Moon card, overall energy. And this is where you see change. This is where the Moon card, and we do have the new moon coming up, right? So keep in mind that we're still entering that stage of May, where what seeds you plant during Saturday's new moon is going to grow throughout the rest of the year. Right, so things are changing for you, and you may be being asked to kind of reevaluate what's important to you right now, and where are you staying stagnant and comfortable just because you're comfortable, but you're yearning for something more. You're yearning to start something new, do something fresh, or maybe even for some of you, you're wanting new love in your life. You got to do something different, be willing to change or be flexible when you're inviting new love into your life, especially if some of us are older, we're set in our ways. It's really hard to find that inner child again, right? It's really hard, right? But what I see here, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you haven't seen yet. And that could be, you feel like something's changing, but you don't have the full picture yet. That can bring up anxiety, unnecessary worry, and we tend to let our fears create illusions when there's something amazing coming. So you got the Queen of Cups here too. Aries just had this as what's leaving for you. And this can be hiding your true feelings. If I show or express my true self, if I let somebody in, if I be vulnerable, I'm gonna get hurt. If I let somebody care for me, if I let somebody know that I want to be cared for, if I let somebody know that I really feel deeply and I'm emotional, I'm gonna get hurt. And something about your insecurities too. Some of you may over-explain yourself. You may constantly justify your needs, justify your feelings to others. Remember, it's the stuff that's leaving from your past. A lot of the justifying our needs and feelings comes from CPTSD. You just feel like you're taking up space. You don't want to take up too much space, but you're over-justifying, explaining everything that's leaving your life. That's trying to leave. Because the whole performing and the being nurtured and allowing yourself to be cared for and nurtured by another person, I feel like that's the big thing that's trying to enter your life. What is actively shifting right now? The Knight of Cups. You're really wanting love in your life right now, and there is new love trying to enter your life. Leveling up, true romance. Wearing your heart on your sleeve. Look at all this water right here that's showing up for some of you. Some of you have been dealing with situations that have hardened you. You may have been the one that was constantly initiating. Everything feels urgent because just like Aries, it feels like somebody always leaves you guessing. You never know what the outcome is. So you live in fear more than in the moment with a relationship because you're always trying to figure out if you're going to waste your time or get hurt. And reacting to situations and to people who don't deserve your reactions. That's what's also trying to leave too. I think some of you give way too much of yourself to other people. And we're seeing here that true love is trying to enter your life. Love is trying to evolve here. This could be new romance, somebody who's just willing to just be there for you. Right? And so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio is very strong here. So what is new and trying to enter in your life? And then I'll look at specifically at love. I see the Judgment card. This is the day of reckoning. This is where your life is trying to turn. This is where God is coming in and saying, come on, you have your higher self. You cannot lie to yourself anymore. Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel good. And, what's trying to enter your life is making huge decisions about your truth, about your alignment. Being able to make a decision that changes the course of your life. You know, this is a version of yourself that blames yourself, judges yourself, criticizes yourself, or maybe blames other people. Remember, we're looking at the past too. And this is everybody. You know, a lot of us do that. We still maybe blame our situations from the past that brings us to where we're at now. And this is where the Judgment card is saying, yeah, Leo, yes, I know that our situations have created who we are and they've molded us. But at this point in our life, especially if you find yourself in tarot, we're starting to peel away the layers of, you don't have to control me anymore. I don't need to judge myself or judge others or blame others for where things are. I can actually change my life, change the direction, and leave all that shit in the past. Because they're still affecting your life, whether you realize it or not, that story. So your judgments are changing in your life. You may even start to realize that your responses to situations are not feeling right. Like you just don't feel right judging a situation the same way. You're seeing things different. Your perspective is changing. You know, you may even be looking back at your life and reviewing it differently and being like, yeah, I can see that. I can see how everybody played a part or whatever. But it's a huge moment for you. So what is new in love specifically? The Seven of Pentacles. I love it. This is the Seven of Pentacles. I said this earlier. So to me, Leo, what it feels like right now, mid-May, just before we get to the new moon in Taurus and after the full moon in Scorpio we just had, it feels like you may be sitting here reviewing your life. Like, yeah, everything is kind of okay. I could settle with what's going on right now, but I'm feeling a strong pull for something more. You're sort of reevaluating where you're investing your time, you're investing your energy, and you're wanting more return of investment is the biggest thing when it comes to love. And somebody seeing your vulnerability, somebody seeing you for how much you give, and somebody actually stepping up and wanting and willing to give just as much. This is a love that can grow, and one where it feels, again, like there's always a plan. We don't need to know exactly what that plan is, but we both seem to want to make a plan moving forward. But your challenge may be making better decisions or judgment calls based on the love or the relationships that show up in your life that drain your energy. So I do see hope coming in for you, and I see a new direction coming in for you. And I see that, you know, all the things that you've worked for may be kind of feeling blah. Maybe you're feeling okay, but I feel like you're needing or wanting something more in your life. And this is where you are being asked to allow change to show up in your life and taking a new road, taking a different road, trying something different in your life. So what do you do with all this? Three of Pentacles. It's one of my favorite cards. Phone a friend. Ask them what they're up to. What are they doing? Where are they going? Where do they hang out? Go to counseling. Go to a community. Go somewhere where there's people that support you. You know, talk to people that actually care about you. What are other people doing? How do we make it work? How do we come together? I want to try something new. I need to go explore. And you are being asked to connect to others. So with that being said, let's look at Aries through Pisces and see who's coming towards you, what's shifting, and or what's leaving in love. Now, this can represent somebody that's on your mind, but it also can represent, I do see Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, fire energy for you, but you do have Earth here too. But some of these cards can represent new love coming in too. Get a good shuffle. So think about the person that's on your mind, because this can answer what's shifting with that. But open up to new love. Thank you guys for being here. I see you. All right. I see expansion by summertime. This is your energy, Leo. All right. It's time to express yourself fully and be seen. And this is that Page of Cups energy. You know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, being childlike, being open, being naive, but you want to be able to be yourself and express yourself and trust. Trust relationships will grow, not get sucked into. All right, enough. I'm such a skeptic. I'm such a Scorpio. All right, Aries. You and Aries making things work. All right, this could be your one. You do have your 10 of Cups energy here. So there's something about this connection. You're growing, you're moving forward, or there's potential for this to be your long-term relationship. It could be a new Aries entering your life. It doesn't matter. But this is a blessing in this relationship. It could be a blessing in disguise. Taurus. Lots of communication with Taurus, all right? We're starting to talk about the possibilities. Things are starting to become more harmonious. You may be talking about relationship more. You may be expanding on your relationship and talking about the future more. You may be trying new things, or it could just be what's changing is communication. We're actually talking more and communicating more about what we see for the future. Gemini. I am seeing justice here with a Gemini. So, you know, there's a no in here. There's a no more justifying. I know I'm right. I know my truth. You know your truth. There could be a decision being made with a Gemini. You know, maybe they are dealing with a divorce, or you're dealing with a divorce, or, you know, but I do see it's coming to closure, where we're finally feeling like things are balanced, or fear. Fear, F-A-I-R. Cancer. All right, look at that Three of Pentacles showing up. There could be a new Cancer on the horizon. There could be a friend Cancer that really, really is into you. This could be you and a Cancer starting off as friends again, you know, just trying to regroup. You know, you guys care about each other. So that's you and a Cancer. It could be friend zone too. Leo, you got Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So I feel like the fire energies today, you could read all of them and it's all going to probably apply. But I see no more holding back and being seen and feeling passion and creative, you know. And this is about being yourself and not performing anymore in relationships, being able to open up and express yourself. All right, so I am seeing a lot of passion with you and another Leo as well. This could be a new Leo coming into your life. Virgo, I see a new beginning coming in with a Virgo. It also could be a new Virgo trying to enter your life. Libra, you have new love and reconciliation. So maybe you are finding forgiveness with somebody, a Libra from your past. But for some of you, there could be a new Libra coming into your life as well. Scorpio, let it go, release. All right. It's time to move on from that, move on from a Scorpio, and not look back. All right. Things happen for a reason, you know, in some senses, in some cases. And it just feels like if it's been holding you back, it's time for change. It's time for forward motion. Sagittarius, I see true love, soulmates. You could have a past life together with a Sagittarius. I love how the fire signs are all connecting today. A lot of you, maybe your fire partner is the one, right? But I am seeing soulmates and true love, Sagittarius. Capricorn, you know, it's taking time to rest and relax and recoup. Maybe you are going through some healing. Maybe your Capricorn is going through some healing. It's just a matter of time. It is saying, you guys, what's changing is maybe some silence, a little bit of space so that you guys can reevaluate the situation. Aquarius, something's changing in their work life, or they're feeling called in their career to do something different. That could be their main focus. And, you know, it's not that the relationship is not important, but it just seems like their career is taking precedence right now. Things could work out in the future. Maybe right now it's on hold, you know, but the change, you know, is what's going to bring, if this is going to work out, this change, this career is going to make them more confident moving forward. Pisces, I do see twin flame journey with a Pisces. So some of you, welcome to the journey. You may be learning a lot with the Pisces. It could be a new Pisces coming into your life. Be aware that these types of relationships, people tend to, and I've done it in the past, to glorify them or make them look more beautiful than they are, especially if you've experienced it. But they're actually very life-changing, and they can rip you to the core and pull up some of your deepest rooted insecurities. If you're constantly feeling like you're waiting for the other person to change, then you're not getting the journey, because it's about you. All right. I love you guys. Let's move on. To my Saggies. Let me get it pretty good. Let me clear the deck before I... No, Tuesdays are becoming my elements. Next week because I'll burn out. I'll burn out with what I'm doing. Sometimes on Thursdays, if I can, I will do another set on Thursday. But Tuesdays, I'm definitely trying to commit to doing 3 signs. All right. Let's see. Leo is at 25. All right. Sagittarius is 46. I did pretty good timing today. I like it. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. It's Tuesday. I know, I'm losing track of the days too. All right, Sagittarius. I forgot to change the timestamp. Sagittarius. All right, let's take a look at what's trying to leave your life, what's coming in. This reading, go back to the Sunday's 7-day forecast. It's kind of building off the May setup. And I will do Aries through Pisces at the end too. You've got movement, teamwork too, and but I'm going to take this card. Well, you got both of them that's showing up for me, but I like this: vitality, energy rising, confidence, power, and decision making, grouped with the movement, teamwork, and partnership. I mean, just feeling alive. This just talks about feeling alive. All right. And so, my Scorpio side says, if you're not feeling alive and somebody's draining you, you're going to reach a breaking point, and you're going to be like, I need to move. I need to get out of this, because you are in this energy where you're craving it, or your body or your aura, your energy is needing movement. And if you're fire, and if you're feeling stagnant, all right, you're just going to get pissy. You're going to get angry, all right, and intense. And this is where my Sagittarius may decide to buy a plane ticket to Guatemala, or sign up for the Mars trip. Somehow you found a way, right? It's crazy, right? So you got beautiful energy showing. The energy rising right now is telling me that around you, something is building, right? It's growing. And, this is also going to add to your confidence as well, more in yourself. And then decisiveness tells me you're going to make decisions really quickly. You're not going to wait or explain yourself, or let somebody else take your power away. This is going to be you being like, no, I'm making a decision. This is it. Sorry, guys. Sorry about your luck, but I got to fill my own cup. You've got the Sun card here, which is talking about growth and being outside and being around people that bring you to life. So let's take a look. Let's look at the tarot cards. Sag is taking back their power. You know, and it's easy energy. It's ease. You know, when you have the Sun card, that means that you don't have to fight for anything. You don't have to push anything. You don't have to create. Well, you do. This is a creative energy. Sorry, that wasn't what I was looking for. You don't have to initiate constantly and push at something. It just feels good. I do see a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. There could be an earthy energy. I can't say whether leaving or coming in just yet because I didn't ask. But you do have the Death card. You know, so something may have changed all the way in April. You know, this is a rebirth for you. You literally have a rebirth here. Something has changed that you cannot undo. You know something is over. And then I see the King of Pentacles. All right, so for some of you, there definitely could be the lack of security in a relationship, lack of consistency in a relationship. You initiating everything, you taking care of everything, you being the sole provider of everything, you being the adult, you being the grounded one. You're the one that is more responsible. But also this can be a change for you as well too. So I do want to say that for some of you, you know, you may be not taking life so seriously. Maybe you are the King of Pentacles and you've been the one that just has to, you know, keep it all together and you're so successful or whatever that means to you. I'm seeing here that you may be realizing that you need to slow down, right? If you don't keep control of everything, if you don't keep control of a relationship, if you don't hold on, because sometimes the Taurus energy can cling on. Like, I got to make sure I feel safe. You're letting this go because it's not fun anymore and it's draining you. So for a lot of you, it's about, I don't need to be the one doing everything. I need cooperation, but it's all because of lack of trust with somebody. You can't let down your guard or let go of control because you don't know if you could fully trust a situation. This could definitely stem from family tradition. This could definitely stem from, you know, rooted, you know, issues. You know, maybe you grew up around a parent that, you know, was deceptive. But this is leaving and it just feels like you're getting tired of holding on to things to make them last. What's leaving? 8 of Wands, the sense of urgency and pressure. And, you know, the speed of things. So what this is telling me, a lot of you guys, you know, have this sense of urgency when it comes to a relationship because you feel as though if you're not pursuing it or you're not making it fun or you're not performing or being excited or you're not always putting pressure on a situation, you are not sure if something's wrong or if something's not going to last. This is also you initiating everything, you calling all the time, you making plans all the time, you drive into everybody all the time, you know, explaining yourself constantly. And it just feels like slowing down. So you're going through a major rebirth where it's like this doesn't ultimately make you happy. It would if somebody else was doing it for you. Would you love the speed? Would you love the excitement? Would you love the going everywhere and passion? And yes, you would if the other person was initiating more. And if you didn't feel like you had to overdo just to keep it lit. Right? So that kind of energy, you can't undo this if you already know it. You can't keep doing it or performing it or playing like it's okay if you know that you really are over it. It'll just show up as resentment and anger. So what is shifting right now? Look at this, the Five of Pentacles. Some of you, it's really landing. How much you've tolerated, the lack of support, the lack of equal give and take. You're managing the relationship on your own. You've accepted it. And it just kept building up. Maybe some of you, maybe some of you thought it would change and it just felt like it just went unspoken. This is a mindset though, and a pattern though too, that you've gotten stuck in. Like a lot of you guys were hoping for, somebody to really, really give more. And you wanted somebody to stay present and really, you were giving them the benefit of the doubt, or, maybe this is many relationships, but some of you really started settling. And this doesn't have to be a specific situation you're in now. It could be something, a dynamic, a narrative that you've been living for quite some time. It seems like some of you are realizing that you don't even ask for much. You don't even ask for the bare necessities. You're afraid to even ask. Not that you're afraid, I don't like that word, but you're not even realizing. I mean, you're starting to realize, because this is what's happening right now. You're starting to realize that, damn, I don't even ask for much. And I'm not getting the reciprocation. I'm not getting the effort. You're starting to accept less and less and less without realizing it. But the good news is that's over, because you have your energy rising again. So some of you are in the process of rebuilding that fuel and saying, fuck that. I don't know how I got into that warp, that time warp, that rabbit hole. I don't even know how I got sucked into that, especially if you're somebody built and you have a lot of confidence. People can come into your life at any age, and all of a sudden you're all of a sudden like, how did I let that happen? Me? So what is new and trying to enter? You have the Magician. You have lots of opportunities trying to come into your life. So this here is with the Sun energy and the Magician card. This is the ground zero for you. This is, what do you want? Check in with yourself. You have the Magician card here. It's whatever you choose that you really truly want. Your manifestation energy, your power, your life force is coming back. As your life force starts to come back, maybe it's just starting, or maybe you're in this position where you're just realizing this. But as you start rebuilding your confidence and the power, right? There's so much power here for you, Sagittarius. You're going to be able to change your life in so many ways that, unpredictable. This is where your decisions come in. You're going to make decisions a lot quicker. You're going to notice that you're making connections that are more authentic, because the Magician card is, people attracted to you for who you are. You're meeting each other at the same place. You're in alignment. You're more in alignment as your energy starts to come back. So there are people trying to come into your life, or opportunities that are trying to come into your life, that are coming in and you don't have to force it. They're just happening naturally. As you break this pattern that you've gotten stuck in, it's almost like you're remembering who you are. So specifically in love, you are releasing heavy energies and patterns around love situations, the obsessions, the lust, the desire. Some of you let desire and want and need get ahead of you. The chemistry, the passion, the intensity. And a lot of you are realizing that you can have that, but not at your expense. Not getting your needs met just to have that intensity is not working for you anymore. So in love, that's trying to leave, where this is the Lover's card, when, it's a representation of it. But this is when desire and ego and fear get in the way. Whereas that's trying to leave, where you can have magical relationships, you can have the intense relationships you want, you can have exciting relationships that you want, but not from this energy here, because somebody's depleting you or people have been depleting you. And you've been trying to build something with somebody where it's all want and desire. And after a while, it starts to become heavy and toxic, not growing and not healthy. So you are releasing a lot of unhealthy patterns around love. So what should you do with all this? Four of Pentacles. Let go and let it in. Let God. Let go and let God. Let go of the control of trying to control the outcomes of your relationships right now. Stop trying to make something work. Stop trying to fight somebody. Stop trying to prove yourself to somebody. They're not worth it. Not in your story, maybe to somebody else. But right now, you're being asked to let go of trying to control situations that just you feel like you got to always be on guard and always have to be in control of the situation so you don't lose something. That's not love. That's the devil. Right? So that's what I have for you. Let's look at Aries through Pisces. And let's see who's trying to leave or enter. It could be new. It could be anybody. All right. So either think about the person that's on your mind. The card will either answer that question for you, but also remember I'm pulling in new as well. All right, Sagittarius. So I do see a lot of conversation reevaluating and balancing the scales and talking about the future here. You know, there are ways to be creative when it comes to connecting with somebody, but it does show me here, you know, you have to be able to have honest communication that seems open, you know, and it seems reciprocated, especially with this Libra energy. Now, some of you could have a real strong air sign that's trying to enter your life, somebody that's new. But let's see Aries through Pisces. Aries, incoming communication with an Aries. You have messages on the way, figuring out the truth or clarity. We do have a Kazemi this week, right? So you may get them on Wednesday, Thursday. You may get the clarity that you're looking for from an Aries. This could change everything, this message. Taurus. All right, so we are seeing here not being able to let go of a Taurus here with the Devil card. They can't let go of you either. You guys do have an attachment to one another. If that's not the case, if it's just you, it is saying you got to let go a little bit. It's not worth it. But if it's them and they're still attached to you, they're still holding on to this, then this is a chance. Maybe what's changing is you guys facing or dealing with some issue that you're having and being able to heal from it. Gemini, you've got the devil energy here, control, manipulation, and obsession. So letting go here with a Gemini, you may be a Gemini, maybe, or you know, Spirit saying you might want to consider them, letting go of them if they're creating this or they're manipulating you, right? Cancer, very sorry. You may get an apology. They do carry a lot of guilt about the way things have turned out. They don't like how things turned out. You know, it doesn't mean that you guys will make it work. You could, but it does show that they do have remorse and regret. Cancer, all right. I mean, Leo, sorry. Leo is looking good, all right? It looks like Leo's all about this, all about you. Maybe a Leo initiating. This could be a new Leo coming into your life as well. I do see the fire signs today are really on fire, right? So a lot of good energy if you guys are connected to another fire sign. Virgo. All right. So Virgo is reflecting back to you your own insecurities and fears. All right. So this could be where you might be letting go or might be facing some truth about a Virgo. And you know what? For some of you, it could be facing the answers. It doesn't mean you have to let go of it, but you might finally see some truth that's been blocking a connection with a Virgo. Libra, it's a matter of days. For some of you, if you're waiting on a Libra, you know, I got the number 15, right? And so it could be a matter of days, weeks. Here it says where you meet your Libra. It could be a new Libra as well. That could be when you reconcile. Scorpio, you got a karmic cycle with a Scorpio. You know, you guys definitely met to, you know, to learn from each other, but you're repeating a pattern, and it's up to you to find closure or to figure out what that pattern is so that you guys can change things. If you don't and don't want to and just keep repeating the cycle because it feels safer just to know that they're still showing up, that does not guarantee that this relationship is going to move forward. Right? It just shows that or that's why it's stuck. So I can see karmic energy here with a Scorpio. Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius, you may be finally making a choice about a Sagittarius. Is this just candy, eye candy, or is this healthy? All right, so there is some change happening here. 1, 2, 3, and that's with Sagittarius energy for you. And I was talking about that in your reading. You know, you want the intensity, but you want the toxic behavior. So a lot of you, the big change that's happening is you may be really grounding in on what brings you life. Where am I going to see healthy growth, all right, in a relationship? Capricorn, spiritual awakening happening with you and a Capricorn, all right? So you guys may be on the same page. This could be a beautiful relationship forming. There could be a new Capricorn coming into your life. But also you could have met a Capricorn and you guys have experienced something. You know, a lot of us here have experienced this kind of energy, and it is all about our own spiritual growth. So there is a spiritual connection there. The story's still unfolding. Aquarius, can we talk? They may want to tell you how they feel. There's a confession coming in. So it could be somebody new wanting to let you know they want to get together. It could be somebody that just wants to confess, you know, something from the past. Pisces, third party is showing up with a Pisces, or there's a third party. It could be a child. Maybe there's, that's where there's conflict. You know, something needs to change here in regards to a third party. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed these readings. Please let me know. And I really like the fire readings today. So I hope they do land for everybody. Only take what resonates. I will be in membership in a few minutes, 15 minutes. And I'll see you guys there. Have a great day, everybody. You guys are awesome. Take care.